What's going on, you guys? I'm Grits, Warzone's most wanted player. Today we're going to go over the BO7 patch notes for Warzone integration, and there are a lot of them, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but it's going to be worth it because we're going to go into it and I'm going to give you my thoughts on everything. All right, let's dive into it. Coming down, they're going to increase ricochet anti-cheat. That's going to come with stronger boosting detection, as well as implementing the TPM and secure boot. We'll see how that works out. Obviously, that's going to be something that we're going to see over time as we play our game, and if we see more cheaters or not, that's you know, for the future to decide. If you verify your email, you'll get some unique rewards like a camo and some XP tokens. We got an event called Rally Point Week 2. It's gonna be a global event where you can earn a skin, a crossbow, and a tracker screen for your gun. That's the battle pass rewards. We're not really going to dive into Haven's Hollow. We don't really focus on Resurgence a whole lot, but the map does look pretty cool. It's definitely unique. And here it is right here. It does look like they've done a good job with that. Okay, here's Verdansk. First change, signal station. It's one of the new POIs. It's located near military base. Signal station introduces a new high visibility landmark centered around its towering radar arrays. Here's the unique part about it. Players can now complete a short side quest to activate the main radar and earn a portable tactical heat map. This item reveals nearby threat levels for your squad in real time and is lost upon death. And this is what it looks like right here. You can see how this is orange and this is red, and it's pretty safe out here, and it's really light out here. It's like light green. So it kind of lets you know where there's threats. So it's interesting. We will explore that. I will do a video on how to do it and how to use it most effective. The second POI is Factory. This is an old POI, however, it is remastered. It's a fan favorite from the 84 version of Verdansk. If you guys played it back then, this is what it looked like. We got some new modes. So they're going to start implementing some like LTM, like weekend modes. So buybacks, amped battle royale. So increased base health. This is kind of like similar to that like Iron Trials that we had during Caldera. It was one of my favorite LTMs ever. It was a lot of fun. Nothing for weeks 3 and 4 because it's the holidays. Week 5, ultra fast resurgence. So it's just like even more crazy. Resurgence is already crazy. Okay, here's a pretty cool change. Open matchmaking. I know SBMM is a hot topic because it's something that is supposed to protect certain players from running into certain players, right? But with the launch of BO7 Season 1, open matchmaking, where skill is minimally considered, will be introduced into Warzone. Now, this is good because I would play. I'm West Coast. I can never get a West Coast lobby. I'm always thrown into an East Coast lobby because of SBMM, and I basically would play weeks on end and never once get a West Coast lobby. And I think SBMM has a lot to do with that. So instead of having like an 8 ping because LA is close to me, I end up having like a 60 because I'm playing somewhere in New York or Chicago. These are the playlists that are out: solos, duos, trios, quads. Aim assist. So tune strength at short and long ranges and refine full activation required to better balance engagements between controller and KBM players. This is something that's been asked for 5 years. A lot of the pros even like admit that are like Aiden, Biffle, even Swag. Like these dudes say how strong aim assist is and it needs to be nerfed. They all agree on it. It's going to be obviously something that's another hot topic, because if you're using aim assist like I have over the last 2 years, a lot of those players don't want to see it go. However, it is nice to see a balance. Like everything needs to be balanced. It doesn't mean nerf it to the ground until it's not useful. It still should be useful. There is a place for it. However, it needs to be brought back down. So we're back in reality, okay? Not everybody's supposed to hit every shot. Movement. This is probably the only change I'm scared about. It's because they're removing tactical sprint and putting it into sprinter, the sprinting perk, right? So the issue with that is now your movement is basically gate kept as a perk. Now they did increase the base sprinting speed so that maybe it feels like you're tac sprinting anyways. However, the only way to tactical sprint is now to use a perk. combat role. If you use a Mountaineer, this is what the combat role looks like. It's so that, I mean, how many times have you jumped off a building, you hit the ground, and then you're just stuck and you can't move for like 3 seconds, and then you can move? This makes it more fluid. I like it. Experimental mechanics, the grapple hook, wall jumping, that will only be available in LTMs. Wildcards are removed entirely. All of them are gone. Overkill is now available to all players by default. Weapons are limited to 5 attachments. Equipment options. So there's lethals and tacticals. Some have been removed from Warzone. Some have been added. Only a few are going to be available on loadouts. And then the rest of them, you can loot them and buy them off of buy stations. I believe I saw some things you could do off of that. I think that's more in the equipment section. Stim shot can now remove stuns and flashes. Smokes can put out Molotovs. Needle drone, you can see here, it has an 8-second flight time. You can actually go into it like it shows here and fly it around. I'll show you here in a second. So manual mode on, and you can actually turn it and fly it. That probably is going to have some effect on like organized squads. Shoot the door open, have someone fly it in, and then everyone push in at the same time. It's going to be kind of OP. They're going to have to keep an eye on this one, because if you have someone that's good with these, it's going to make pushing buildings insane. Point turret, it's a deployable turret. It's going to do damage, and it can stick on surfaces like vehicles, which is pretty cool. C4 is adjusted. You can detonate via the C-Link without the clacker. Combat axe, one shot to the head. Molotov can be extinguished by smokes. Claymore, this is interesting. That's how much health you have in Warzone. Unless something's changing I haven't seen. One Claymore can one-shot you. That's troublesome. Okay, that's gonna be troublesome, because in quads, if everyone has one, unless you're running like the new flex perk, which I believe is called adaptive, you're gonna struggle because you're gonna have 8 claymores in a building. Sorry, I'm a little sick, my voice. Drill charges only available by looting. Frags are returning. Procs mines are returning. Again, if you crouch or you prone, it reduces the damage of procs mines. Sticky nades are returning. Thermites are returning. Tacticals, you got the Phantom Signal, which is a tracking virus device that affects up to 3 nearby opponents. You can see it's like an EMP area. They will emit sound for 10 seconds. Tagged opponents appear on the compass. You can only loot it. Pinpoint grenade shoots the vices at opponents. This is kind of like the snapshot, but a little bit better. Look at that. That's going to be crazy. And then you have Psych Nade. So what's interesting about this is it flashes your screen red, but it also makes you see players. That's a real player right here, and these are fake. So we'll watch out one more time. Real player, and these fake. So that could actually play an effect as well. And my question is, it doesn't say here, does it get stopped by gas masks? If gas masks are even in Warzone right now. You got decoys, you got flashes. The flash is down from 8 seconds to 4. That's a big difference. Even stims are down to 1.5 seconds. Stims, remove it. Heartbeat sensor. The heartbeat sensor might be meta. And the reason why is because cold blood prevents it instead of ghost. And we'll go into that a little bit more later. Shock charges, 7-second shock charge duration. So if you're using something like flashes, stuns, shock sticks are probably the way you want to go. 7 seconds over 1.5, and was it 4? Yeah, 7 seconds. You got smoke nades returning as well. Echo unit, this is what this looks like. It copies your position. So if you're crouching when you deploy it, it will copy you. This will like set up for some cool tricks on Warzone. Portable decontamination station, PDS. So this is something you could carry with you, and if you want to throw it in the gas, it's a way for you to survive the gas. I like that they're adding this. I missed this thing. It definitely opened up a lot of plays at the end game if you were a good and smart player. Armor box, deployable cover, munitions, recon drone, trophy system is all returning. Warzone is coming, Warcry is coming back, which just increased movement speed and health regeneration. Kill streaks, we got the Bunker Buster care package, which always comes with one power item, which can be an advanced UAV, Bunker Buster, utility box, or a low chance at specialist. 2 rare perks, 4 resupply items, and they will change it as the seasons change. They'll rotate the items. Cluster strikes, counter UAVs, napalm strikes, precision airstrikes, supply UAVs, and the UAV are returning or coming back. Perks, lootable perks. So we haven't had lootable perks on big map in a while. So with contracts, you can get reactive armor, scavenger, mountaineer, or alertness. That's pretty cool. Legendary supply boxes, tempered survivor, reactive armor, alertness. Now we'll talk about survivor in a little bit, but the fact that it could be found in boxes is going to be crazy. It's going to be so crazy that I think it changes the meta quite a bit. Resurgence is also getting some. All right, so perk categories, Mountaineer, we talked about that. It adds a combat roll. You also climb ladders 15% faster. Cold Blood grants immunity to the heartbeat sensor, like I said. Grenadier, it's returning. It's the same, I believe. Scavengers returning. Veterans returning. Bomb Squad. So let's see, it says adjusted. Okay, so it reduces damage from explosives and fire. So I'm guessing Molotovs it now works better against. Whereas before, Molotovs still just did the same damage as it always did, even if you had Bomb Squad on. Reactive armor is adjusted. The difference is, well, one, they made it faster. It's only 20 seconds now to regenerate all your plates. But also, breaking armor triggers an EMP effect, which is interesting. So it's going to scramble people's mini-maps and stuff, which does play a factor. If you're a player that has good situational awareness, you're good at looking up at your mini-map, especially if a UAV up and stuff, it could change a fight. Even if it's only by a bullet or two, sometimes that's how close some fights are. Sprinter, like I said, grants tactical sprint. Reload while tactically sprint. So they took Gung Ho and put it inside of Sprinter as well. So Sprinter is a much stronger perk now. Alertness, this is the same. Quick Fix is the same. Adaptive, this is the new perk. So it improves your explosive defense, movement, and handling. So when you're not fully plated, you have an increased movement speed base of 10%. When you're full plated, you have increased ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. Gain an audible warning when near trapped equipment, which is reflexes, and then traps are delayed. Gain the ability to reset fuses when nades are thrown at you or when you throw them back. Ghost, this is one of the biggest meta shifts for perks right here. Ghost and Survivor. Ghost has improved stealth. Undetectable by pings. Effects are disabled. So you're not ghosted if you sit still for a second and a half, right? So if you're like, oh, how'd you know I was ghosted? Oh, how'd you know, man, you're hacking? No, if you sit still, you're not ghosted. You have to be moving for it to be activated. Ghost remains a strong pick, okay? Yep. It now protects you from standard radar pings and no longer appears on advanced UAVs. What? Not only that, but they removed a bird's eye. So if you're ghosted, the only way to find you is with heartbeat sensors. So guess what? Baby monitors are back, baby. Baby monitors are back. And I checked the lootable perks. Cold Blood is not in there. So Cold Blood might be a meta perk if you're looking to stay off of people's heartbeat sensors. Now, the second biggest perk change is Survivor. It improves health regeneration, revive speed, and survivability. Okay, allies revive you faster. Very good for quads, especially if you're playing together. Okay, improves with full armor plates, gain 1-hit protection against ballistic weapons. This is the changer, especially as a lootable perk. Okay, the way this sounds is you can't be one shot by RPG direct hits. Also, if you're fully plated, because obviously if you're not fully plated, you get headshot, you're going down. But if you're fully plated, you will not be one shot headshot by a sniper rifle. That's crazy. Now, it was already good, but I would have said a lot of people weren't going to run it. But the fact that it's a lootable perk means anyone could have it at any time. It depends if it falls out of a crate or a contract. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was a crate, right? So anyone could have it. Anyone. So that's interesting. Specialist is going to be nuts this year, guys. Specialist is going to be nuts. These dudes are going to be moving so fast, and they're not going to be able to be one-shot headshot. Oh my God. Imagine doing a nice little close flick in a hallway. What would have been originally a knock, now they can just shoot you with an SMG and you're dead. Okay, tracker adjusted. What's adjusted here? Automatically pings the enemy who downs you. I don't like that because I feel like that's like a skill gap, is like calming who knocked you. Like, oh, what did you get shot from? If you have this on, it kind of does that for you. It's whatever, you know, but I kind of like not getting free information based off of something you can do yourself. Tempered returning, loot and economy, seasonal loot. So we'll have to see how this actually works out. But the way I read this, and like, maybe I'm just a big dummy, it sounds like gas masks and self revives are gone. And I could just be wrong. Okay. So they're adding some stuff, removing some stuff, and those things being removed is pistols, gas masks, self revives, right? Which is good in my opinion, because you used to be able to run off in the gas, keep opening crates, get tons of gas masks, get tons of self revives, and it was just kind of silly. I think self revives need to be a lot more rare, because right now the standard is you always have a self revive, and I'm not a big fan of that. Loot pool. These are your lethals, tacticals, field upgrades. Buy station. You can see here, it says adjustments. Buy station adjustments inventory. Now, I don't know if this is saying, because the cluster strike was always 3,000. So I'm guessing this is the buy station and everything in it. However, it says adjustments. So this is where I'm like, maybe there's a gas mask in here. Maybe there's a self-res in here, but I don't know. Okay. So inventory, you got redeploy, armor plate, cluster strike, precision, UAV, munitions, armor box, echo unit, napalm, counter UAV, loadout, drop marker, and the price for each mode. These are where the buy stations are going to be. It looks like a pretty good spread. I don't see really any big like gaps. TV station probably deserves one. Hospital probably deserves one. But all in all, it's a fairly good spread. I don't see like a massive gap. Like, this is probably the biggest space. Maybe. All right. This is going to be my gripe. Okay. All right. If you're introducing a new POI, put a buy station. All right. Put a buy station in the new POI. What are we doing, guys? Why isn't there a buy station in the new POI? You want people to play there or not, man? Come on. I get it. There's a quest there and it's new, so it's going to drive traffic. However, buy stations are vital. All right. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Locations, updated buy station locations, buyback speed. So this is a good change. When you lost the gulag, you sit there and you're trying to buy your teammate back and you couldn't for like 10 seconds. Well, they're saying that's been fixed. Additional contracts will now reveal later circles more consistently, which is good, because there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, we need money, and then no contract spawns zone 5, and you're just like, damn. Search and destroy contract has been removed. Public events. So circle 2, loadout drop. Circle 3, you have a chance at fire sale, restock, or contractor. Circle 4, fire sale, restock, flyby. Flyby. I'm pretty sure that's where all the buy stations come by, right? So that's an interesting one. Recon flyover, circle 5, loadout drop, circle 6, jailbreak, restock, flyby, recon flyover. The recon flyover I felt like wasn't like a big deal. So we'll see how that plays out this time. But the flybys are game changing. Weapons, I'm not going to go into like the weapons too much. We'll go into that individually as we go on. However, just know Weapon changes are here. We don't know what's going to be meta. We can theory craft all we want, but you really just never know until Warzone's released and we figure it out. So we'll see. Here's all the new weapons. If you want to take a time to look at all this, I'll put the link to this patch note in the description. But here's all the weapons. We're going to go bypass this. They're returning the Polaris UTV and the Polaris Sportsman ATV. Challenges. There will be weekly challenges, and I think this is pretty cool. I do think people need to be rewarded for the time they play, something to work towards. So it'll show you here what your reward is. So make sure you're tracking this, see what the rewards are. Looks like there's going to be some camos as well, which is pretty dope. Visual improvements across all of this. Visual improvements, quality of life changes. And then some in-game stuff. All right. I'm looking forward to this patch. I know it's going to be good. I mean, obviously, we could be critical of it. However, this looks like they're giving us the majority of what we wanted. They said we're going to get 4 balances per season for weapons. So meta shifts should be a thing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield. Have fun out there. Get out there. Get some win streaks. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be win streak camos. More on that to come. We don't know how many wins you need to get these, but hey, we're focused on the win. If you want those camos, I'll give you tips on how to get them. Take care, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.